The Heisman Trophy ceremony is wrapped up. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman. We're gonna I think watch his speech at the end of this video. But it's fascinating, dude. Like every time I hop on the internet, it's like you see something about like people creating a monster and like some villain story and Julian Sayin looking like he wasn't really enjoying himself. Like all that stuff kind of it was happening, and it may be true, may not be true. I don't know. I thought this was crazy. Now, look, I love Jacob Rodriguez. I think Jacob Rodriguez is unbelievable. Actually had a crazy season this last year as a linebacker, probably the best linebacker in the sport. I know I'm a big Arvell Reese guy, but Jacob Rodriguez was fantastic. Julian Sayin got 8 first-place votes. Jacob Rodriguez got 17 first-place votes. 9 first-place votes separated the two of them, and it checks out, right? Because most people that were going to vote quarterback were going to vote Fernando Mendoza, and if they didn't, they were going to vote for Diago Pavia because the numbers were a little bit more respectable. But players who were going to go outside of it and just looking for the most outstanding, that philosophy, all those votes were going to go to 1 or 2 people. Those people probably being Jacob Rodriguez and Jeremiah Smith. But I thought this was fascinating, and I wish that Jacob was a finalist, but obviously was not that. But he had an outrageous season, outrageous. Not enough people kind of talk about it because Texas Tech linebacker. But I have to look. Let's see what he's got final numbers wise. Yeah, 61 tackles, 1 sack. It's 7 forced fumbles and 7 forced fumbles and 4 INTs. I mean, that's 11 turnovers created by one guy. He's just been outrageous. And he's, I don't know what kind of NFL draft prospect he's going to be, but he's a guy that was an absolute monster for them this year and kind of anchoring. And honestly, he's a guy that like Cam Scatteraboo kind of became super, super famous during the postseason last year. Jacob could end up being that same kind of cult hero this year.
The guys who get invited to New York, are multiple year players. Guys who have played a lot of football. This is Julian's first year playing football. And to see the way that he's taken this first year with everything that comes with being the quarterback at Ohio State and handling with humility, he's got a lot of football ahead of him. Not just this year, but down the road, and I'm really proud of him. And the guys who get invited to New York,
I'm glad that Ryan Day's staying on that humility thing. I like that a lot. And Ryan Day's right. Kid's got a lot of football left, and he'll probably be the early favorite for next year. They look good, man. And also, it's funny because we always talk about how small Julian is, but here Ryan is just a little shorter, and he looks so young, man. But he's going to be the favorite next year, and honestly, he probably would have got more votes this year if this offense had opened it up a little bit more. But Ryan Day, kind of understanding the situation, is committed to balance, and so I can definitely absolutely respect that. And also, the Heisman Trophy is about stories, right? And the best story in the sport is Fernando Mendoza, Signetti, and Indiana, who started off their campaign really, really early for their guy and had their guy really early, as opposed to Ohio State, where could have been Jeremiah Smith, could have been Julian Sayin, we don't know. But Indiana knew this was our guy, this is what we're pushing, and Fernando Mendoza completed the transfer portal arc story, right? He came in, became famous, won every single game, mocked, won a bunch of places, and then beat Ohio State. That is the story. And how do you give recognition to that? I guess you give it to him. My preference is to leave that for the coach of the year and awards like that. I believe that Heisman should be most outstanding player, which I don't think Julian or Fernando was. But yeah, it just, is what it is. Just a real quick blast from the past. Just a quick, I guess, note. I didn't realize this of how crazy Johnny Manziel was in 2012. 1,400 yards to Jeremiah Love's 1,300 yards. 21 rushing touchdowns to Jeremiah Love's 18 on just 2 more carries. An outrageous rushing year. An outrageous rushing year. I want college stats. While also throwing for 3,700 yards. That is absurd. Averaging 7 yards per attempt. Yeah, he was correct. Bold season totals indicate player led the conference in black ink. That's crazy. Just an unbelievable run he had. And that's, throwing the football, and then this is running the football. Absurd. I think people forget about that. I mean, self-admittedly, I forget about that. Biletnikoff, another story note, Makai Lemon won the Biletnikoff. Jeremiah Smith finished 6th in the Heisman voting. Take that for what it's worth. And who finished? So we've got Fernando Mendoza won it, Diego Pavia 2, Jeremiah Love 3, Julian Sayin 4, Jacob Rodriguez 5, Jeremiah Smith 6, Gunnar Stockton 7, Trinidad Chambliss 8, Caleb Downs 9, Haynes King 10. So I saw this and I thought to myself, okay, there's no way Jeremiah Smith does not get the Heisman. Does not get the Biletnikoff, excuse me. There's no way to get the Biletnikoff. Now, statistically speaking, I think that, having under 1,000 yards, I think it hurt him most definitely. Missing some time hurt him most definitely. And again, part of the storyline is okay, no, I can't even storyline it. And there's my guy, DG. There he is. Jerry Emick. Swan song. And I wanted Jeremiah Smith to get multiple Biletnikoffs. Jeez, I keep saying Heisman. Multiple Biletnikoffs because I think it's good to remember that pocket of time for someone who I think is the best receiver, pure talent-wise, maybe outside of Calvin Johnson that college football has seen. This was Jeremiah's response.
On some real murder. I'm about to be on some real murder shit, eh? I'm telling you, man. Any nigga that ever looked at me wrong owes me money or ever said any jealous bullshit about me is fucking dead. You understand what the fuck I'm saying? I'm about to be.
And honestly, maybe Jerry Emick is the best at what he does. Maybe it's his job to get everybody in the world motivated beyond belief. Now it does. People are talking at least. Now I do think Jeremiah Smith is already hyper motivated. I think this kicks it up a notch. I think legacy is important to Jeremiah Smith. I think Jeremiah Smith is someone that views himself as the very best, which he absolutely should, because he is. But I thought that was a sick clip from him to post. And it's okay, let's get it going. Also this with the goat in the background. Hard. Hey guys, while you're here, make sure you like, sub, and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. We're on the road to 10K, and we do it with you guys, so thanks. Take the over. Demon time. Remind them. Back-to-back confirm they messed up. Different timing, December 31st. It is funny because they're the number 2 team in the country. They're really not super disrespected per national media. In fact, they're widely accepted and odds-on favorite to go back-to-back. But if you can manufacture a little bit of extra chip on your shoulder, and for Ryan Day, see this and know that he needs to get the ball a ton. And then you got this, and this is from Chandler, who I've been on his show one time before. He does a really good job. They're going to turn Julian Sayin into a monster. You've got the Jeremiah Smith feeling hyper disrespected, and then you've got this video, this clip. There's one guy over there talking to Julian Sayin, the quarterback at Ohio State, for media day for the Heisman. It does optically look insane. I'm sure more people went over to talk to Julian at some point, but that is wild optically, wild optically. And then you wonder how many clearly no Ohio State beat went to it, and that obviously could contribute to it. I'm sure that there was plenty Indiana media, plenty of Vanderbilt media looking to cover their guy, but this optically looks insane. And again, they're going to turn Julian Sayin into a monster. Oh no. I do feel bad to be losing to Georgia in the first round. This is so weird, and people wonder why we say it's Ohio versus the world. Great point. Yeah, dude. Those two. This is a bad take by Quad. Just felt wild to see. And then obviously want to look at the way too early 2026 Heisman Trophy race. There he is. There he is. It would be crazy to see him and Julian in New York next year. Oh, no, he did get over 1,000 yards. I guess I didn't realize. I thought he was just under 1,000 yards. But he cracked 1,000 yards. So my correction there. He, again, should have won the Biletnikoff per my thought process. Yeah. Julian Sayin 2. Gunnar Stockton. Malachi Toney. He was teammates with Brandon Ennis at American Heritage. Really fantastic player. Really fantastic player. Arch Manning, Trinidad Chambliss. I don't know. Ole Miss has submitted a waiver to NCAA on Chambliss behalf for another season of eligibility. He played his first 3 seasons at Davis and Ferris State before transferring to Ole Miss. He was named SEC Newcomer of the Year, taking over the starting job in the 3rd game of the season. I do wonder if he's going to get that, because if he is, I wonder if he'll go to LSU and how that'll look. Marcel Reed, okay. JKS, real good. Jade Maeva, I think he should return. There it is. Bo Jackson. Love seeing Bo Jackson. I think Bo Jackson, really good shot that he's the best back in America next year. Really good shot. What I've seen from him with a full year, I think he could be absolutely fantastic. CJ Carr. Yeah. This is a pretty good list. But at the top, 2 Ohio State guys. It'd be really cool, man, because this one right here, he's got a chance to do some really outstanding stuff, being the starting guy from start to finish. If we just look at his freshman year, 168, 135, 5 touchdowns, averaging 6.2 yards per carry. I think he was averaging 5 yards per carry in the Indiana game. Yeah, 4.9 yards per carry in the Indiana game. It just feels like, the contact balance, enough speed. I think he's got more speed than people realize. Makes you right a lot. There's a lot of times where he should have been tackled for -1 yard and he comes out on top. So really looking out for him. Shout out Cleveland. All right, unique time in college football. It is now. We see this. We started. I stated the video on this before. We're starting to see guys agreeing to come back, and again, optically, it's weird because it is college sports, but it's college sports with essentially a pro type model. Sources: Maryland freshman quarterback Malik Washington has agreed to a deal to return to the Terps in 2026. He's emerged as one of the country's top freshman quarterbacks in 2026, breaking the school's freshman passing record with 2,900 yards. It's weird, man. It's just weird. It's weird because now you have signing day. You're going to have kind of 2 different markers, right? You're going to have signing day, and then you're going to have kind of the winter meetings, free agency, agreed to come back. This is essentially an extension for a college kid that we know teams are going after because he's one of the hot young freshmen. And when you see this, it's okay, do I need to wait for guys like Mason Heinzel to announce that they're coming back? Do I need to wait on, I'm trying to think of who else is there. Wait on DJ Lagway to sign an extension. Wait on Raiola to sign an extension. Which I think Rayola's out of here. I think when he hits the portal, that'll be a movie. And here we go. Lenore Sellers is in the final negotiation of a deal to return to South Carolina in 2026. Same deal. It's like when I look at these quarterbacks, am I assuming that they're all going to hit the portal until I see this breaking news? Or is this a unique thing? I thought for sure he would go, and I thought he should go to a place that wants to develop quarterbacks. So this surprised me. I thought he had a good shot to be the Miami next quarterback. And then it's do you start to see reports of these guys looking around to use it as leverage against the school they're currently at, the same way we see with coaches. And that's what I think I'm kind of waiting on, and I think we might trickle there slowly. I think there has been some cases of it being like that, but I think now that we're seeing outwardly and openly final negotiations of a deal to return, I think we could see kind of that as the next domino. While I do believe it is happening behind closed doors, but public pressure definitely moves needles more than behind closed doors stuff. Ryan Day and Stephen A. Smith for the culture.
Knowing football the way that you do, how do you feel about the college playoff system? Are you good with it? Do you think there needs to be increased to 16 teams, 20 teams, keep it as it is? What's your mentality about all of that?
Yeah, I like the playoff system. I think it allows your team to grow and to build as the season goes on. I think back before that happened, we played a game early in the season with Texas, and if you win or lose that game, your season could be over. Yeah, maybe back in the day when there was only 4 teams, or even before that when there was 2 teams in the national championship game, your season could be over. And I don't think that's good. I think it's good when you watch your team grow and learn, and then the best team at the end of the year typically has a chance to win. So that part, watching us last year and kind of how we grew and learned from a couple setbacks, I think was a great story. And I think when you look at that part of it, I think that's great. I do think that having conference championships, if it's going to stay kind of at this level, I guess would make some sense, because if you win your conference, then you should be in. I think you deserve that, sort of like the basketball tournament. But I would be in favor of expanding the field, and that way
to 16 or 20.
I'd go all the way to 20. Yeah, I think it's good for football. I think it's good for.
I think going up to 20 is maybe a little bit extreme, but I do see what Ryan Day is doing here, right? The more teams that are involved in a playoff, the more pressure that puts on people in power to kind of fix the calendar. Right now, one of the issues that Ryan Day has is the calendar is not suited for, a 12-team playoff, but the only people that are like really loud and frustrated by it are the teams that are going to like constantly be in the playoffs and the teams that are constantly going to be playing deep into the playoffs, because when that happens, then it's like, okay, like, look, like, they don't like, there's just not as much of a widespread frustration for how the calendar is if it's like just Ohio State and Georgia and, Indiana. If it's them in the playoffs every year, it's like, well, if it's more teams in the playoffs, more teams that can make a run, there'll be more pressure on the decision makers to try to find something to fix this schedule with, even though I don't know if it can be fixed. Additionally, this is kind of like carrying water for the Big Ten a little bit, right? Like Ryan Day knows, like in a 12-team playoff, like I get in every single year. But for the money, for the money of the conference, I'm now like a conference cog, like the conference matters to me. I don't want to slight the little guy like more and more and more. Or it's like, look, if it's a 20-team playoff, we'd be more inclined to schedule Alabamas and Georgias and Texas in one season as opposed to just like one per season. You could do more. So, I don't know. I think, Ryan Day through and through is an NFL guy. I think he trusts his ability in a playoff setting to scheme guys and like play good football when it's time to go win when it's time to go win a championship. I think the more expanded fields benefit him more and more and more because, I think you'd have probably to shorten the season a little bit because that's a lot of extra football. But I think Ryan Day is a believer that, I could cut through any playoff field and let me kind of work on what's best for the sport in terms of coming back to our side of things and like kind of normalizing some things in terms of let me make it more accessible for everybody. That way we can holistically talk about what changes need to be made to the sport and to the calendar. So I think that's what that is, because he's someone that does not need a 20-team playoff at all. Unless you want to beat Michigan in the playoffs, Ryan. If that's the case, just say that. That's all I got for today. I want to keep this video a little bit shorter, just a quick little wrap, some award disrespect, and then some other stuff. I'm not going to do the Fernando Mendoza speech this time. I will do it probably on a future video. But hey, make sure you continue to like and sub. It helps us, helps the channel grow, and I'll talk to you guys soon.